Special thanks to Patreon supporter Dio the Troublesome Truck for making this video possible. Hello ladies and gentlemen, Scared204 here bringing you another Minecraft vehicle tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be going ahead and building the YAGR-3B close air support VTOL aircraft. This aircraft here is seen in the anime series Neon Genesis Evalngelion. I'm not quite sure, I've never seen this show, nor am I a big fan of anime, so I really don't know much about this or anything like that. However, it's, I guess, a attack VTOL and stuff like that. It's flown, or it's basically based in the year 2015 and flown by the United Nations and the Japanese Strategic Self-Defense Force. I'm not sure again what this series is about and what this thing is kind of used to fight against, but interesting vehicle design for sure. It combines basically VTOL abilities along with some different designs from like the Apache and the Cobra and the Hind and all that kind of stuff to kind of create a gunship variant as well for it. But anyways, this VTOL is overall, pretty interesting to say the least. It was kind of a pain in the butt to build actually because of the lack of real reference photos for it, and reference photos that we did have were either of it way out from a distance or, not really that great, I guess. But it was an interesting build, and once I got done, it was pretty relieving to get it finally finished up and done. Anyways, this build here is a Patreon requested build, so I want to go ahead and give a special thanks to Dio the Troublesome Truck for going ahead and donating to the channel. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel more than you guys already do, you can feel free to head over to my Patreon page. Link is down in the description, where you guys can go ahead and pledge a small amount every month to basically earn some cool perks. And one of the perks is for sure having a vehicle your choice every month. So it's a pretty cool and pretty good deal if you guys are willing to support the channel more than you guys already do. Anyways, feel free to check it out if you guys are interested. Anyways, as you can see, we have both the landed version and also the in-flight version located up here. I'll be showing you guys how to build both. So we'll cover both how to build the landed and everything like that, and also the in-flight. One thing that I hope I got was the scale correct. I mean, from what I'm able to tell, this VTOL seems like it's a pretty big aircraft, but then again, there's no real reference photos for me to use to kind of compare, size of one of these VTOLs with anything else, like a person or anything like that. So it's very hard to judge scaling wise. So I just kind of had to, assume how big these cockpits kind of would be for somebody to sit in there, and it was overall kind of tricky and difficult to, figure out. But I think that it's, semi close to the right scale, or maybe a little bit bigger, I don't know, but I mean, it's still the VTOL, and you can definitely tell what it is and all that fun stuff. Anyways, the landed version here, as you can see, the wings are tilted in the forward position. It's got to be this way so that I can actually land, because the engines stick out way past the bottom here, so they need to tilt the engines forward or completely horizontal so that they don't scrape across the ground. You have the whole cockpit section, all this stuff for the fuselage, lots of little details and stuff on it. The landing gear itself is pretty cool. I kind of like the landing gear system on this thing. It's got a pretty interesting design for it. So we got the back wheel, and we also got the front wheels like that, and overall pretty cool. Going ahead and continuing on, we have the tailpiece here, the UN writing on the back here. There's nothing too fancy for that, and just the back tail, which is pretty much just like that. And then the in-flight version, you can see these engines are just tilted upwards like that. So again, nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy. I will be covering how to go ahead and do both the landed version and the in-flight version. So we'll probably just build the fuselage, and then we'll build the in-flight version. Then I'll go ahead and show you guys how to do the landed version as well alongside it later on. Anyways, that's pretty much going to do it for this overview. Let's go ahead and move into the tutorial by starting off with our first layer, layer 1. Alright guys, so go ahead and move on to layer 1. Layer 1 is very simple. It's probably going to be our easiest layer here. Now, I want to go ahead and real quickly let you guys know a few things. So, first is we're going to be going ahead and building this thing as if it was in flight to start off with. Of course, I'll be showing you guys how to put the landing gear and stuff on a little bit later, but we do need to make sure that we are the correct size off the ground. So, by this, what I'm going to do is we're going to be placing down some top slabs here. So, we're going to need to go ahead and make sure that these top slabs are a total of, they're basically on the 4th block above the ground. So, if we take a look at this, these purple blocks here representing the amount of space in between the ground, which is this row right here, And you can see we have 3 block space, and then we have kind of like this half slab space and then the top slab. So make sure that that's that correct height off the ground. If not, your VTOL is going to be 1 block in the ground, or it's going to be 1 block above it, and it's just going to be a big mess and all that stuff. So that is if you guys are making this thing landed. If you guys are building this airborne, it doesn't really matter. This is not really the lowest point. The lowest point is technically these engines here, but we're focusing on the fuselage. Just make sure you, after this layer here, you probably have a few blocks of clearance. I would recommend at least probably 4 blocks of clearance above anything, just to make it so you're not interfering or hitting anything. Anyways, to get started here, we're going to be going ahead and do my standard method of building half on camera, half off. So whatever we do on one side, you're going to do the other. This build is pretty much almost entirely symmetrical. There's a few details here and there that aren't, but of course I'll cover those when we get to those. But for the most part, this thing is pretty much symmetrical, so whatever we do on one side, we're going to do on the other. Now to start off with, we're going to place down a row of 2 of nether brick top slabs. We then want to place down a row, or basically have a space of 9 in between a second row of 2 of nether brick top slabs. So as you can see, we're just going to use, I just used some wool blocks here just to kind of show it. We have a total of 9 blocks space in between these 2 top slabs. And then we want to just go ahead and build the right side here. So we're going to place down a acacia wood top slab over here on the outside of the VTOL. This is kind of the center area, and this can be toward the outsides, like that. We're then going to place down a nether brick top slab next to it. From this nether brick top slab, we're going to go ahead and go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 top slabs back. Coming off the acacia wood slab, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 nether brick slabs going back from that acacia wood top slab like that. Once you have that done, if you went ahead and put any blocks down to kind of visually show your spacing, you can delete them because that's all we need. We have our 2 lines here on both sides and our space of 9 in between them. And with that done, we can go ahead and move on to our next layer, layer 2. Alright guys, moving on to our next layer, we have layer 2. For layer 2, we're going to go ahead and start off by going to our rows of these nether brick top slabs. We're going to go ahead and basically build on top of them. Now, the row that we created on the outside here with the acacia wood top slab here, we're going to go ahead and place down a row of basically, I believe this is going to be a row of 13 of nether brick half slabs all across these top slabs, just like that. Let me just go and get a double count here on the length of that. Yeah, it's 13 top slabs, or half slabs, all the way across, just like that. Once you have that done, we're going to go ahead and go to the first block, so we're going to have our VTOL facing this direction, obviously. We're going to grab ourselves some nether brick stairs. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3, and 4 nether brick stairs going back from the front here like that. We then want to go ahead and grab ourselves some black wool. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 black wool blocks going back like so. With that finished, we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves some polished andesite and also some stone brick top slabs. We want to go ahead and place down a polished andesite block coming off the back of this nether brick stair, followed by a stone brick top slab coming off of it. We're going to take our polished andesite blocks going back from this one right here. We're going to go ahead and place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Basically giving you a row of 13 here of polished andesite, followed by a black wool block on the end here like that. Go ahead and go into our next row over. We're going to place down a polished andesite block coming off this stone brick top slab. Behind that polished andesite block, we're going to go ahead and again place down a row of 13 of polished andesite. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, followed by a black wool block like so. With that finished, we're going to go ahead and continue on. So from this, we're going to go ahead and place down a stone brick top slab coming off this polished andesite block, followed by one more top slab going toward the front of the VTOL like that. Going from this top slab here, we're going to go ahead and go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and 10. We're then going to go ahead and switch over to nether brick top slabs, and we're going to go ahead and place down a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 nether brick top slabs back, just like that. And then for our next row over, we're going to go ahead and place down a polished andesite block next to this stone brick top slab, followed by a polished andesite block coming off that polished andesite block toward the front. We're just going to go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're then going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 black wool blocks, and then a nether brick top slab. For your center row right here, we're going to place down a nether brick top slab right here in between the two. So we have a row of 5, so it's going to be the center lines right here. So we have a nether brick top slab. We then have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 black wool blocks. We then have a total of 12 polished andesite blocks. We then want to place down 1, 2, 3 black wool blocks, and then a nether brick top slab. On the sides here, come off this polished andesite block, we're going to place down a stone brick upside down stair, 1 and 2. On the sides here, these 2 black wool blocks, and then we just want to place down a nether brick top slab, like this, on both sides here to create a row of 3 of top slabs across the front. So basically, looking at this from above, we should have something that looks just like this for the base so far for layer 2. Once we have that all complete and copied over to the other side, we can go ahead and move on to our next layer, which is going to be layer 3. Alright guys, moving on to our next layer, we have layer 3. For layer 3, what we want to do is you want to go ahead and start off by taking an orange stained glass block. We're going to kind of place it at an angle coming off the front here from this nether brick top slab like that. So you can see it looks just like that. On your side of this orange stained glass full block, we're going to place down a polished andesite block on both sides. We then want to place down 1, 2, 3, and 4 polished andesite blocks back. Go into our second polished andesite block back from the front. We're going to place down a stone brick upside down stair coming off of it. We then want to go ahead and go back to this polished andesite block here. We're going to place down a stone brick upside down stair, followed by 1 and 2 polished andesite blocks back like that. Coming off this second polished andesite block, we're going to place down a stone brick stair, just like this, followed by a stone brick slab coming off of it. After this stone brick stair, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, and 13 polished andesite blocks back, just like that. Let me just go and double count here. Yep, 13 polished andesite blocks back. And then on the front of these polished andesite blocks, we're just going to go ahead and run a row of 13 of stone brick half slabs across, something like that. When we get to this back section here, coming off this polished andesite block, we're going to place down a black wool block like this. You also want to place down a nether brick slab after this polished, or the stone brick slab. So just like that, again, going toward the back here. We then want to go ahead and go at an angle from this black wool block here. We're going to place down 1 black wool block on top of this nether brick top slab, followed by 1 and 2 blocks back. We then want to place down a nether brick upside down stair, coming off this black wool block like this. And then it's just going to be a row of 3 across, and it's going to connect over to the other side like so. So basically we should get something that kind of looks like this so far from up above. Once you guys have that done, that's going to do it for layer 3, and with that we can move on to layer 4. Alright guys, so going ahead and moving on to our next layer, we have layer 4. For layer 4, we're going to go ahead and start off by placing down an orange stained glass block on top of this one up here in the front. So just place down 1 more going up like that. We then want to place down 1 coming off of it, going toward the front of the aircraft, so 1 more coming off of it toward the front. On your side of this front orange stained glass block, we're going to place down a stone brick upside down stair, so we should have something that looks like that for the front there. We then want to go and go from the back of the stair, we're going to place down 1 and 2 orange stained glass blocks, followed by a polished andesite block. We're then going to place down a stone brick stair after that polished andesite block, followed by a stone brick half slab, and then we also want to place down a black wool block. On these 2 polished andesite blocks behind the black wool and the stone brick half slab, we're going to place down a row 2 of black wool. After this black wool block, we're going to place down a polished andesite block, followed by a stone brick stair like this, followed by a second stone brick stair after it, again facing the same direction. On the inside here, these stone brick stairs, we're going to place down a row 2 here of black wool. We then want to place down a polished andesite block back. We're going to grab ourselves some cyan stained clay. We're going to place down a cyan stained clay block. We're going to go ahead and grab ourselves a stone button, and we're going to place down a stone button on this cyan stained clay block. And we also want to place down a stone button on this black wool block. After we have that done, we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves some stone blocks. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3, and 4 stone blocks back, followed by 2 polished andesite blocks, a cyan stained clay block with a stone button on it. Or actually, my bad, no stone button on this one. And then we want to go ahead and just take our black wool. We're going to go ahead and place down 1, 2, 3, and 3 blocks back. On your third block, you're going to place down a stone button. We then want to place down, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 black wool blocks. So this is going to give you a total of 8 black wool blocks back from that cyan stained clay block. We then want to go ahead and grab ourselves a brick top slab. We're going to place down a brick top slab, come off this row of 8 of black wool, followed by a row of 3 of cyan stained clay that's going to go across and connect both of the top slabs together. And then coming off that row of 3 of cyan stained clay, or red stained clay, we're going to place down a row of 3 of nether brick top slabs, just like that. And we do also have one last thing we want to do, is we want to go ahead and go from the center line here. And to kind of get a bit of our tail started, we're going to go ahead and go from our center nether brick top slab going back. We're going to go ahead and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 blocks back, and then we're going to place down 2 polished andesite blocks and a black wool block. So again, the space in between this polished andesite block and this nether brick top slab is 30 blocks. And that's just going to go all the way back there, and that's going to create the very tip there of your tail, as you can see right there, and that's going to be slowly built up over the next layers. Anyways, that's going to do it for layer 4. With that, let's move on to layer 5. Alright guys, moving on to our next layer, we have layer 5. For layer 5, we're going to go ahead and start off by taking our stone brick stairs. We're going to place down 2 stairs on top of those 2 upside down stairs up here in the front. In between these stairs, we're going to place down a stone brick half slab, just like that. After that, we're going to place down a row of 3 of orange stained glass behind the stone brick stairs and the half slab. We then just want to place down 1 orange stained glass block back from this one right here on the both sides, like so. After that, we're going to place down a polished andesite block after this orange stained glass block, followed by 2 black wool blocks. After you have that done, we're going to place down 1 black wool block coming off the second one right here, followed by a stone button on that one. We also want to place down a stone brick top slab coming off the black wool block toward the front here, followed by a stone brick upside down stair coming off the polished andesite block like so. After that's complete, we're going to go ahead and place down a polished andesite block after the black wool block. We then want to place down 2 stone brick upside down stairs, both facing that direction like that to create these little vents here. And again, on top of these 2 black wool blocks on the inside here, we're going to place down 2 more black wool blocks going up. After that, we're going to place down a polished andesite block right here after the stone brick upside down stair. We're going to go ahead and grab ourselves a cyan stinkweed block, place down a cyan stinkweed block, again, a stone button on it. We then want to place down 2 polished andesite blocks, followed by 2 stone blocks. We're going to go ahead and go back to polished andesite. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 polished andesite blocks going toward the back. We want to go ahead and kind of stop real quick. We're going to go ahead and go to your first polished andesite block in that row of 5. We're going to place down a acacia wood stair coming off of it like so. We then want to place down a nether brick upside down stair, which is going to be facing this direction like so. After that, we're going to place down a stone brick upside down stair like that. So we turn this nether brick upside down stair into a corner stair. We're going to go ahead and skip a space of 1, and we're going to place down a stone brick top slab. So you get something that looks like this on the side there, and that's going to be part of this kind of vent piece on the side. With that finished, continuing on, we're going to place down a stone brick stair here on both sides. We then want to place down 1 and 2 polished andesite blocks, followed by a cyan stinkweed block, 2 polished andesite blocks, followed by a red hardened stinkweed block. We're then going to place down a row of 5 of polished andesite all the way across, just like this. And then we want to place down a row of 3 of polished andesite on the very center here, followed by a stone brick top slab on both ends, just like that. Going to the way back here for the tail, we're just going to place down a black wool block on top of this one right here, followed by 3 polished andesite blocks coming off that black wool block going toward the front, like that. So it should stick out one past this previous row we created for the tail. Anyways, that's going to do it for layer 5. With that, let's go ahead and move on to our next layer, layer 6. Alright guys, moving on to our next layer, we have layer 5. For layer 5, what we want to do is we want to go ahead and start off by placing down an orange stained glass pane on top of this stone brick half slab like that. Going back from that stained glass pane, we're going to place down an orange stained glass full block. On either side of this orange stained glass full block, we're going to place down a stone brick stair like that. Behind those stone brick stairs and the orange stained glass, we're going to place down a row of 3 of orange stained glass all the way across. We then want to place down a polished andesite block back from the orange stained glass block, followed by a cyan stinkweed block as well. Coming off the front here of these 2 blocks, we're going to place down 2 stone brick half slabs coming off of them. We then want to go ahead and go after the stone brick half slab. We're going to place down 1 and 2 stone brick stairs like that. We then want to place down 1, 2, and 3 polished andesite blocks, a cyan stinkweed block with a stone button coming off of it like that. We're then going to place down 1, 2, and 3 polished andesite blocks, a stone brick stair like that. We then want to place down 1, 2, 3, and 4 cyan stinkweed blocks going back, and then 1 and 2 cyan stinkweed blocks. Now on the side here, we will need to go and grab ourselves a wooden trapdoor and also some black wool. We're going to place down a wooden trapdoor on top of the stair like this, opened up so it kind of faces toward the outside here. Behind that trapdoor, we're going to place down a black wool block. We then want to place down 1 and 2 polished andesite blocks, and then we're going to place down a cobblestone wall like that to kind of finish it off for the end there. After that, we're going to place down 2 cyan stinkweed blocks after this cyan stinkweed block. We also actually want to place down a stone button on this cyan stinkweed block right here. So we have our 2 polished andesite blocks. We're then going to place down a cyan stinkweed block, followed by 2 polished andesite, a red stinkweed block, 2 more polished andesite blocks, a stone brick top slab, We're going to place down a row of 3 here of polished andesite that's going to connect up to our other side here. And then we just want to place down a row of 3 of stone brick top slabs coming off those 3 polished andesite blocks. Going back here for our tail, we're just going to go ahead and place down 1 and 2 black wool blocks, followed by 1, 2, and 3 polished andesite blocks. So you can see the shaping of it is starting to go and face toward the front there. So just like that, pretty simple stuff. Anyways, that's going to do it there for layer 5. With that, let's go ahead and move on to layer 6. Alright guys, moving on to our next layer, we have layer 6. For layer 6, what we want to do is we want to go ahead and start off by placing down an orange stained glass pane on top of this orange stained glass full block, followed by another orange stained glass pane on both sides. So you have a row of 3 of orange stained glass panes. Come off the center pane, going toward the back, we're going to place down an orange stained glass full block, followed by a black wool block on either side of that orange stained glass full block. We then want to take our cyan stained clay. We're going to place down 1 and 2 cyan stained clay blocks back, again with 2 stone buttons on the sides of them. After we have that complete, we're going to go ahead and grab our cobblestone walls. We're going to go ahead and also take our polished andesite. We're going to go ahead and go back 1, 2, and 3 back from those cyan stained clay blocks, and we're going to place down 3 cobblestone walls, come off those 3 polished andesite blocks. After those cobblestone walls, we're going to place down 2 polished andesite blocks, followed by a cyan stained clay block again with a stone button on it, like so. We then want to go ahead and place down, let's see, we want to place down 1 and 2 polished andesite blocks back. We're then going to place down 2 cyan stained clay blocks, and we're going to place down a stone button on the second block, like that. We then want to go ahead and again place down 1, 2, and 3 polished andesite blocks, a cyan stained clay block, and a stone block, and then a cyan stained clay block, like so, and then an upside down stone brick stair. On the top here for this, air intake, we're just going to go ahead and kind of replicate what we did on the bottom layer. So we're going to place down an upside down acacia wood stair on top of this wooden trapdoor. We're also going to go ahead and place down another brick stair facing this direction, followed by a stone brick stair after it, like that, and then a stone brick half slab on top of this cobblestone wall, like that, to create this air intake for the engine on the side here. With that all complete, going ahead and continuing on, we also want to take stone buttons and place down 2 stone buttons on these 2 cyan stained clay blocks, and also on this side as well. That's something that wasn't transferring over for some reason, so go ahead and just add those buttons there. We then want to place down a stone block, followed by a polished andesite block, a cyan stained clay block with a stone button on it, 2 polished andesite blocks, a red hardened stained clay block, 1, 2, 3, and 4 polished andesite blocks back, a stone brick top slab after your 4th polished andesite block, a row of 3 to basically connect both sides together, and then coming off the row of 3 here of polished andesite, we're going to place down 2 rows of 3 of stone brick top slabs, just like that, going toward the back. For the very back tail piece here, we're going to have a bit of an indent from the front, from this back section here, so we're going to have 1 black wool block on top of the second one right here, followed by 4 polished andesite blocks after it, again going to the front, so your tail should look something like this now. Anyways, right there, that's going to do it for layer 6. With that, we can go ahead and move on to our next layer, layer 7. Alright, so I'm kind of hoping my layering system isn't messed up. I may have just made a mistake in what I meant to say. I said layers, we're going to move on to layer 7 in the last layer, but we just did layer 7, so I don't know if I am a layer behind on everything. But anyways, this is actually layer 8. Hopefully my layering system isn't messed up, but of course always refer to what's in the top left hand corner of the screen when I get done editing this, because that's the correct number. Anyways, let's go and get started. Now on top of this orange stained glass full block right here in the front, we're going to place down a black wool block with a stone button coming off of it. We then want to place down a nether brick stair like this on both sides of the black wool block. Going back from the nether brick stair, we're going to go ahead and place down a stone slab full block, followed by 1, 2, 3, and 4 polished andesite blocks. On the basically the first 3 polished andesite blocks, we're going to place down 1, 2, and 3 cobblestone walls across like that. We then want to place down a stone slab full block, followed by a stone full block, followed by a stone slab full block. We're then going to place down a polished andesite block, followed by a cyan stained clay block with a stone button on it. We're then going to place down a polished andesite block, a stone block, and then a cyan stained clay block like so. We then want to place down a stone brick upside down stair, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 polished andesite blocks going toward the back. We're then going to place down 1, 2, and 3 stone blocks, a cyan stained clay block, again a stone button coming off the cyan stained clay, followed by 2 polished andesite blocks, a red hardened stained clay block, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 polished andesite blocks, a stone brick, a stone brick upside down stair, it looks like, coming off this polished andesite block like that. We want to go ahead and place down a row of 3 of polished andesite in between the stairs, followed by a row of 3 of polished andesite on top of these 3 stone brick top slabs, We're going to place down a third row of 3 of polished andesite coming off, followed by a second row of 3, and then we want to place down 2 rows of 3 here of polished andesite going back as well for this back section here. For the tail on the back here, we're going to go ahead and place down a black wool block on top of this one right here, followed by one that goes toward the front, and then 4 polished andesite blocks after it, continuing that pattern on. So again, this is what your tail looks like so far. Going ahead and continuing on, that's going to do it for this layer, and we're going to go ahead and now move on to our next layer, which is going to be layer 9. Alright guys, so go ahead and move on to layer 9. Now, for layer 9, there is one difference on the right side of the vehicle than there is on the left side, and I'll go ahead and explain that in a second. But to get started, we're going to go ahead and go to our front here. We're going to place down a row of 3 of black wool across this black wool full block, and then Arabic stairs, just like that. After we have that done, over here on the left side, we're going to place down a skeleton skull like so. And then we want to go ahead and just take our stone blocks. We're going to place down 1, 2, and 3 stone blocks back from this black wool block. We want to go ahead and go to the sides here. Now, over here on the left side, we're just going to place down 2 cobblestone walls on these last 2 stone blocks. So you have 1 block here toward the front. However, on this side, we're going to place down a row of 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it's going to be alongside the black wool and these 3 stone blocks like that. Coming off the cobblestone wall, we're going to place down a skeleton skull, followed by 1, 2, and 3 end rods. However, we need to actually break that 3rd end rod. We're going to place down a placeholder block. We're going to place down a skeleton skull like this, break that full block, and then place down an end rod like that to create this little rod that sticks out on the front here. And you can see the difference on the front here very simply. On the left side, you can see we have 2 cobblestone walls and then just a skeleton skull coming off the black wool. Over here on this side, you can see a little bit more of a difference there. So just make sure that you have those differences and you don't have the same thing replicated on both sides. Anyways, going back from these 3 stone blocks, we're going to place down 2 polished andesite blocks. We then want to place down a stone brick upside down stair coming off the first polished andesite block, followed by a polished andesite block on the back of the stair with a stone button on it, like so. We then want to place down a stone brick upside down stair facing this direction, followed by a black wool block behind it. We're then going to place down a stone full block coming off the front of the stair. We then want to place down an upside down stone brick stair facing this direction, so the opposite direction is this one, with again a black wool block behind it. We then want to place down a polished andesite block after that stair, with again a stone button on it. And we're going to place down a stone brick upside down stair coming off that polished andesite block going toward the back, again with a black wool block behind the stair like so. After that's done, we're going to place down a cyan stankway block on both sides with a stone button on the side. We're going to place down a polished andesite block. After that, followed by 1, 2, and 3 stone full blocks, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 polished andesite blocks, a cyan stankway block with a stone button coming off of it, 2 polished andesite blocks, a red hardened stankway block, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 polished andesite blocks back, followed by a stone brick top slab coming off that row of polished andesite. We then want to go ahead and grab ourselves our polished andesite blocks. We're going to place down a row of 3 of polished andesite in between the stone brick top slabs. We're going to place down a second row of 3, followed by a 3rd row, a 4th row, a 5th row that's going to now stick out past these top slabs, and then a 6th row like that. We then just want to place down 2 rows of 3 here of stone brick top slabs, going ahead and working our way toward the back. For this back section here, we're just going to place down 2 black wool blocks on top of these 2 right here from the previous layer. This time followed by 5 polished andesite blocks coming off of them, again going toward the fuselage of the aircraft, and that's what our back tail should look like, something like that. Anyways, once you guys have that all done, that's going to do it for layer 9. With that, let's go ahead and move on to layer 10. Alright guys, moving on to our next layer, we have layer 10. For layer 10, there's going to be really no any differences on both sides, so it's going to be completely symmetrical, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and place down a black wool block on top of the center of this row of 3, so just one more black wool block followed by a stone button coming off of it. We then want to go ahead and grab ourselves a Arabic stair. We're going to place down an Arabic upside down stair on both sides like that. Actually, here on the left side, we actually want to place down a skeleton skull coming off the back of this stair. Over here on the right side, we're not going to, so there is like a slight difference, but other than that, we're pretty much going to be all the same here. Going back from this Arabic upside down stair, we're going to go ahead and place down a row of 3 here of stone full blocks. We're then going to place down a cobblestone wall coming off the 3rd stone full block. After that, we're going to place down a polished andesite block on top of the stone brick stair here, followed by a stone button on it. We're then going to place down a stone slab full block after that, followed by a polished andesite block with again a stone button on it. We then want to place down a stone full block, followed by again a polished andesite block with a stone button on it. We also want to go ahead and again grab ourselves a stone slab. We're going to place down a stone slab full block, followed by again a polished andesite block with a stone button on it. We then want to place down a science tankway block right here, followed by a stone button on the side of that block. We're then going to take our stone, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 stone blocks going toward the rear, followed by again a science tankway block going up with a stone button on it. We then want to place down 2 polished andesite blocks, followed by a red hardened tankway block. We're then going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 8 polished andesite blocks back, followed by a stone brick stair like this. On the inside here, this stone brick stair, we're going to place down a polished andesite block. We want to go ahead and go toward the back, or we're just going to place down a row of polished andesite all the way back here to this stone brick top slab. After that, we're going to place down a row of 3 of polished andesite that comes off these 3 stone brick top slabs, followed by a second row of 3 of polished andesite. We're going to place down a row of 3 of these stone brick top slabs, followed by a second row of 3 of stone brick top slabs, again going toward the back. Over here on this back section here, we're going to place down a black wool block on top of this one right here, followed by one more going toward the fuselage. We're then going to place down a total of 5 polished andesite blocks coming after it, like that, again continuing that shape there for the tail. Once you guys have that done, we do have one last thing we need to do, is we need to go ahead and actually add basically our wing on. So this here is actually part of the previous layer, which apparently it looks like I actually forgot to do, so good job on that one, Garrett. But we'll go ahead and just simply add it on. It's nothing too major, and it's a pretty simple addition. So for this, we just want to go ahead and go to this polished andesite block that's right after these science tankway blocks right here. We're going to place down a brick slab coming off of, we're actually going to place down a brick slab coming off the science tankway block right here. So just like that, coming off of it. We then want to place down a second block after it, like so. Going on the head and going on the back of these slabs, we're going to place down a stone brick slab, followed by a brick slab. Or my bad, sorry, a brick slab and then a stone brick slab, like this. We then want to place down a total of 5 polished andesite blocks back. So we're going to go back from these stone brick stairs and the half slabs. We're going to place down a row of 5 of polished andesite going back. We then want to go ahead and place down a stone brick stair, like this on the inside, followed by a corner stair. And then we're going to place down 2 half slabs coming off the corner stair and the regular stair. Again, this is one layer down, so basically kind of tends to be the previous layer. It's something I guess I forgot to add on. Coming off this half slab here in the front, we're going to place down a brick half slab like that. We then want to go ahead and place down a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 polished andesite blocks back again. We're going to go ahead and then place down a brick slab on the end here like that. We then want to place down a brick slab on the front here, followed by a brick stair like so. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3, and 4 of these polished andesite blocks back, followed by a stone brick slab like that. For our next row over, again, we're going to kind of do the same thing. So a brick slab, a stone brick stair, 1, 2, and 3 polished andesite blocks, a stone brick stair, and a stone brick half slab like that going toward the rear. For our next row over, we're going to go ahead and go off this stone brick stair here, which actually should be a corner stair, so we're going to switch that out. Come off the corner stair, a brick slab like this, followed by 1, 2, and 3 polished andesite blocks back. We're then going to place down a stone brick half slab next to this stone brick stair. Again, we're going to go ahead and place down another brick slab coming off the front here, followed by 1, 2, and 3 polished andesite blocks back. Again, a stone brick half slab, just like that. After you have that done, we're going to go and take a stone brick top slab or half slab. We're going to place it down next to this brick slab. We then want to place down a stone brick stair like this, a polished andesite block, and then a stone brick stair after it, and then there's stone brick top slab like so. Or half slab off that stair. And then on the bottom of this science tankway full block, we're just gonna, stone brick or polished andesite full block, we're gonna place down a stone brick top slab, just like that. And we also just want to go ahead and place down a half slab on top of this polished andesite full block right here. It's gonna be the same thing there on both sides, just like that. Once you guys have that all finished, that's gonna do it for the wings, and pretty much have us all caught up and good to go. That's it for layer 10. Let's go ahead and move on to layer 11. Alright guys, moving on to our next layer, we have layer 11. For layer 11, what we want to do is we want to go ahead and start off by going to the black wool block here on top of it. We're going to place down a orange stained glass full block like that. We then want to place down a black wool block on either side of that orange stained glass block, followed by a row of 3 of orange stained glass panes across the front like that. Going ahead and going back from this black wool block, we're going to place down 1 and 2 science tankway blocks. We're then going to place down a stone brick top slab coming off the science tankway block like so. After that, we're then going to place down a row of 1, 2, and 3 polished andesite blocks, followed by a stone brick upside down stair coming off the stone brick top slab, or a stone brick upside down stair that looks like this coming off that top slab. We then want to go ahead and place down a stone brick stair like this on top of that polished andesite block, followed by a polished andesite block with a stone button coming off of it. We're also going to place down a stone brick stair. After that, polished andesite block with a black wool block behind it. We then want to place down a cyan snakewood block after the stone brick stair with a stone button on it. We're also going to go ahead and place down a stone brick stair like this. Again, a black wool block behind it. We're then going to place down a polished andesite block with a stone button coming off of it. Again, a stone brick stair after that polished andesite block and a black wool block behind it. After that, we're going to take our cyan stained clay. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 blocks back, followed by a row of stone buttons all on these cyan stained clay blocks like that along the side. After that, we're going to go ahead and take our stone blocks. We're going to place down 1 and 2 stone blocks. We then want to place down a red hardened stained clay block, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 polished andesite blocks back. We then want to have an indent here. We're going to go and go to this polished andesite block here. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 all the way out to this stone brick top slab here. We then want to place down a row 3 of stone polished andesite going across like this. We're then going to place down a second row 3 of polished andesite. We then want to place down a row 3 of stone brick top slabs, and then a row 3 here of acacia wood top slabs. Going back here for this tail piece, we're going to place down 2 black wool blocks on top of these 2 right here. We then want to place down a row of 6 polished andesite blocks going toward the fuselage. At this point right here, we should have a 1 block space in between our tail here and our fuselage, like so. So that's what we have going on there. Anyways, that right there is going to do it for layer 11. And with that, let's go ahead and move on to layer 12. Alright guys, going ahead and moving on to our next layer, we have layer 12. For layer 12, what we want to do is we want to go ahead and start off by going to the center orange stained glass pane. We're going to place down an orange stained glass full block on top of it, followed by a stone brick upside down stair on both sides. Going to go back from the stone brick stair, we're going to place down a row of 2 here of orange stained glass, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 black wool blocks back. We then want to place down a polished andesite block on top of the stone brick top slab. And then after this polished andesite block, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 stone brick stairs going back. We then want to go ahead and grab ourselves cyan stained clay. We're going to go ahead and place down a cyan stained clay block that is going to, we're actually going to place down a stone block here. This should be a stone block on both sides, and this should be a row 3 of stone blocks, just like that. We then want to place down a cyan stained clay block with a stone button on it like that. We're then going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 polished andesite blocks back. Again, a cyan stained clay block right here, and a stone button on it. We then want to place down 2 stone blocks like this, a red stained clay block, a polished andesite block, a stone block like this, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 polished andesite blocks back. Again, we're going to go ahead and go to this row on the inside here. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 polished andesite blocks back. We then want to go ahead and grab ourselves some acacia wood planks. We're going to place down 1, 2, and 3 acacia wood planks back. We will need to place down 1 plank in between the third planks on both sides. And then we just want to go ahead and place down a 4th plank after that, followed by 2 stone brick top slabs. Now on the center plank right here, we're just going to go ahead and place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 polished andesite blocks back, and then 2 black wool blocks on the end there. We can finally say that our tail is actually connected up to our fuselage, which is pretty awesome. And we're slowly working our way up the building, getting closer and closer to actually having the fuselage done. So with that, that's it for layer 12. With that, let's go ahead and move on to layer 13. Alright guys, moving on to our next layer, we have layer 13. For layer 13, we're going to go ahead and start off by going to the front up here. We're going to place down a stone brick stair here on top of these 2 stone brick upside down stairs, followed by an orange stained glass full block in between the stairs, and then a orange stained glass pane coming off of a full block toward the front. We then want to place down a row of 3 of orange stained glass behind the stairs and the full block of orange stained glass. Going back along the sides here, we're going to go ahead and place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 polished andesite blocks back. We then want to go ahead and go to the sides on top of these stone brick stairs and this polished andesite full block. We're going to place down a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 stone brick half slabs. We then want to place down a row 3 of polished andesite in the middle, followed by a stone brick stair on both sides. We're going to go ahead and repeat this 2 more times. So again, a second row 3, stone brick stairs on both sides, a third row 3, and again, stone brick stairs on both sides like that. For this section here, we're actually going to place down a cobblestone stair on top of the science tankway block here, and a row of 3 of science tankway blocks across the middle like that. After that's done, we're going to again go back to our polished andesite. We're going to place down a row of 3 across, followed by a stone brick stair on both sides. Again, a row of 3 of polished andesite, stone brick stair on both sides. Again, a row of 3 of polished andesite and a stone brick stair on both sides. Row of 3 of polished andesite and a stone brick stair on both sides, so you have a total of 4 of those rows. For this row right here, it's a little bit different. We're going to place down a stone brick stair, polished andesite block on both sides, and a science tankway block there in the center. And for this row, it's going to be a row of 3 of polished andesite and a stone brick stair on both sides. We're then going to switch to polished andesite again. We're going to place down a row of 5 across the polished andesite, followed by a second row of 5 across, and then a third row across of 5. We then want to grab our science tankway, and again, we're going to place down a row of 5 of the science tankway all the way across, and then just a stone button on the end like that. After that, we're going to place down 2 polished andesite blocks after the science tankway block, followed by a red hardened tankway block, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 stone blocks, followed by 1, 2, and 3 polished andesite blocks, a stone brick stair like that. On the inside of the stone brick stair, a stone brick or polished andesite full block, followed by 1 and 2 polished andesite full blocks. We then want to place down a nether brick upside down stair coming off the polished andesite block like this, followed by a black wool block, and then a upside down stone brick stair or nether brick stair where they're going to place down a polished andesite block, a black wool block, and then a polished andesite block, and then an upside down stone brick stair like that. And this could be for the UN symbol, which actually in this case actually needs to be reversed. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this actually out right here, and I'm going to go ahead and actually adjust this. So on the left side here, it's going to be the opposite. You have the nether brick upside down stair, the black wool block, nether brick upside down stair, polished andesite block, black wool, polished andesite block, upside down nether brick stair. However, over here on the right side, it's gonna be a bit different. We're gonna place down the nether brick stair first, upside down stair first, followed by a polished andesite block, followed by a black wool block, followed by a polished andesite block, and then we're gonna place down our upside down nether brick stair, black wool block behind it, and nether brick upside down stair like that. So you can see it's kind of reversed here on both sides, and make sure you guys obviously have that. And in between this, we're just going to place down a row of polished andesite just to fill that whole space in so that there's no gaps left open so you can see through the aircraft. After this nether brick upside down stair here on both sides, we're going to place down 2 polished andesite blocks back, followed by 1, 2, 3, and 4 acacia wood planks. So after those acacia wood planks, we're then going to go and take our polished andesite. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3, and 4 polished andesite blocks back. On the center here, in between our 4th polished andesite blocks on both sides, we're going to place down a polished andesite block in the middle, followed by 1 more polished andesite block back, and then 2 black wool blocks back. So we have something that looks just like this for our tailpiece so far. Anyways, that right there is going to do it for layer 13. With that, let's go ahead and move on to layer 14. Alright guys, moving on to our next layer, we have layer 14. For layer 14, we're going to go and start off by going to the front here. We're going to need to go and grab ourselves some orange stained glass panes and also some orange stained glass full blocks. On top of this orange stained glass full block right here, we're going to place down an orange stained glass pane, followed by an orange stained glass block directly behind it. On either side of this orange stained glass full block, we're going to place down a stone brick stair on both sides. We then want to place down a row of 3 of orange stained glass, followed by a second row of 3. We're then going to place down a row of 3 of polished andesite across like that. We're then going to place down again 2 rows of 3 here of orange stained glass, followed by a row of 3 of polished andesite. Again, 2 rows of 3 of orange stained glass, like this going back. On the back section here, we're going to place down a nether brick stair on both sides, followed by a black wool block in the center. We then want to take our nether brick half slabs. We're going to place down a row of 3 across, like this. We also want to place down a row of 3 of stone buttons on top of those science tankway blocks like that. We're going to place down a cobblestone wall on the left side here. Nothing over here on the right side. We actually want to go ahead and go back to this section right here. So it's our 3rd polished andesite block row back from the science tankway right here. We're going to place down a stone brick stair like this, followed by a stone brick half slab on top of it. And this is only on the right side of the aircraft as well. We're going to grab some light gray banners. We're going to place down a light gray banner on both sides like so. We then want to go ahead and grab ourselves an item frame, a sign, and we're also going to need to go ahead and grab ourselves some black wool. We're going to place down an item frame, come off the stair, a black wool block in the item frame, and then the sign covering up the item frame like so. And that's going to kind of do it for that section there. Also, just so I don't forget, I'm going to go ahead and take a end rod and place it down on top of this cobblestone wall here, just so I don't forget for the previous layers, or the next few layers, so just like that. And that's how it's going to look like here on both sides. Going to continue back, we're going to place down a stone button on top of this cyan stankway block. Let's go ahead and skip on a block back. We're going to place down a stone brick stair, followed by a polished andesite block. And on top of this polished andesite block, just so again I don't forget, I'm going to place down a polished andesite, or sorry, a stone brick stair like that. On the near side of this, on the near side here, we're going to place down a stone brick a regular stone brick stair like that on both sides with the back facing toward the outside. And then we're just going to place down a row of 5 of stone buttons across these cyan stankway blocks. After that, we're going to place down a row of 3 of stone brick half slabs covering up the center here, followed by a row of 3 of polished andesite directly behind it, with a stone brick half slab on both, a stone brick stair facing this direction on both sides. We then want to place down one more stone brick stair going back, so we turn this stair into a corner stair. We're going to place down a polished andesite block on both sides, followed by 1 and 2 polished andesite blocks, followed by a row of 3 here of stone, then a polished andesite block. We're then going to go ahead and place down a stone brick half slab like this after the polished andesite block. Have a polished andesite block on the inside here. We're going to go back 1, 2, and 3 back from it. For this section here, it's a bit different on both sides. On the left side here, we're going to place down a black wool block, followed by a polished andesite block, black wool block, polished andesite block, black wool block, another brick stair with its back facing toward the front, black wool block, and that's going to do it for the writing here on the side. Over here on this side, it's a little bit different. We're going to go ahead and place down a black wool block here, followed by another brick stair facing that direction, another black wool block directly behind the nether brick stair, a polished andesite block. We're then going to place down a black wool block, polished andesite block, and a black wool block like that for the writing on the right side. After that, we want to go ahead and just take our polished andesite and again fill in the space in between here just to cover up any holes that would be left open. Anyways, continuing on, we're then going to place down a polished andesite block. After this black wool block, we're going to grab ourselves acacia wood planks. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3, and 4 acacia wood planks like that. We then want to go ahead and take our polished andesite. We're going to place down a row of polished andesite going toward the back. So we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 back. On top of this polished andesite block here on the inside, next to these 5th polished andesite blocks, we're going to place down one more block in the middle there, followed by a second polished andesite block back, and then 2 black wool blocks back. So pretty much the same as the previous layer on the back tail piece here. And then we just want to place down a stone brick upside down stair coming off this row of 5 of polished andesite like that on both sides. After you guys have that done, that's going to do it for layer 14. With that, let's go ahead and move on to layer, I believe this is going to be layer 15. Alright guys, so moving on to layer 15. Now at this point here, we pretty much have completed everything that's really left for us to do up here in this front section. And the main kind of part is actually pretty much complete. The next thing for us to really work on is getting this back section built up, which will be over the course of these next few layers, which honestly shouldn't be too difficult, too crazy, but it's going to obviously take a little bit of time to go ahead and, build up and all that stuff. So, this is what we're going to be working on this back section here. So these next few layers should go by relatively quickly. Anyways, to get started here, we're going to go ahead and go on top of these 3 polished andesite blocks. We're going to place down a stone brick stair in the middle here, followed by a stone brick slab on both sides. Go back from this stone brick stair in the middle, we're going to place down a polished andesite block, followed by a stone brick stair on both sides. We then want to place down a row of 3 here of cyan stained clay all the way across. And we then want to go ahead and grab ourselves polished andesite, place down a row of 3 of polished andesite, a row of 3 of polished andesite a second time, and then a third time 3, so we should have a 3x3 kind of square here of polished andesite. Continuing on, along the sides here, we're going to place down 1, 2, and 3 stone blocks going back like that. We then want to place down 1, 2, 3, and 4 polished andesite blocks. For this section here, we're going to go ahead and go on the right side here. We're going to place down a black wool block. We're going to place down a polished andesite block, followed by another brick stair facing that direction like so. And then we're going to place down a polished andesite block on the back of the stair, a black wool block, polished andesite block, and a black wool block. Over here on this side, you can see it's a reverse. So we have a black wool block right here, polished andesite, black wool, polished andesite, another brick stair with its back facing toward the front, polished andesite, and black wool, just like that to write UN on both sides, just like that. And again, just like we've been doing, we're going to place down a row of polished andesite in between it in the middle here just to cover up any gaps left open. After that, we're going to place down a row of 1, 2, 3, and 4 acacia wood planks. We're then going to place down a polished andesite block, followed by 1, 2, and 3 cyan stankway blocks, which we're going to go ahead and place down a stone button on the first cyan stankway block right here. We then want to place down a row of 5 of polished andesite. It's going to go all the way across like this. We're going to place down a stone brick upside down stair coming off this polished andesite block toward the front. We then want to place down a row of 3 of polished andesite on the back here, followed by a second row of 3. Coming off the center block, we're going to place down a black wool block and another brick stair like that for the back section there. Once you guys have that all done, that's going to do it for layer 15, and with that we can move on to layer 16. Alright guys, moving on to our next layer, we have layer 16. For layer 16, we want to go ahead and make one simple quick change from the previous layers. We actually want to go ahead and go in between these 2 stone full blocks in the beginning. We're going to place down a polished andesite block in between them. I do apologize. Just go ahead and place that. It's a very simple fix. Anyways, on your second basically row here of stone full blocks here on both sides, we're going to place down a row of 3 of stone brick half slabs. We then want to place down a second row of 3 of stone brick half slabs like that going back. We're then going to place down a row of 3 of polished andesite, followed by a second row of 3 like that. Then on the sides here, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 polished andesite blocks back, followed by 1, 2, 3, and 4 acacia wood planks. We then want to place down a polished andesite block, followed by a science thankwood block with a stone button coming off of it, like that. We're then going to place down 1, 2, and 3 polished andesite blocks back, followed by a science thankwood block, a row of 3 of polished andesite all the way across here, polished andesite block in the center, followed by a stone brick stair on both sides. After that's done, come off the science thankwood block on top of the polished andesite block here and place down a stone brick stair, followed by 1 and 2 polished andesite blocks coming off of it toward the front, and then a stone brick upside down stair just like that for that section there. That right there is going to do it for layer number 16, and with that, let's go ahead and move on to layer 17. Alright guys, go ahead and move on to layer 17. For layer 17, we want to go ahead and take our stone buns. We're going to place down 3 stone buns across these 3 science thankwood blocks. I think that was actually from the previous layer that I kind of missed, so go ahead and throw that on. Going ahead and continuing on, we're going to go ahead and go to this center polished andesite block in this second row of 2 of 3, or the second row of second row of 3 polished andesite blocks. So stone brick stair on top of it, followed by a polished andesite block on the back of the stair. On the other side of the polished andesite block, we're going to place down a stone brick half slab, followed by just a row of 3 of stone brick half slabs on the back here. We then want to place down a row of 3 of polished andesite, followed by a second row of 3 of polished andesite. We then want to go and place down 1, 2, and 3 polished andesite blocks back on the sides, followed by 1, 2, 3, and 4 acacia wood planks going back. We're then going to place down 2 polished andesite blocks, followed by a science thankwood block. We then want to go and go to the outside here. We're going to place down 1 and 2 and 3 polished andesite blocks on the side here. On top of this science thankwood block right here, we're also going to place down another science thankwood block going up like that. Come off the back of, or the side here, this science thankwood block, we're going to place down a stone brick stair. In between the stone brick stairs, we're going to place down a polished andesite block, followed by 1 and 2 more coming off of it toward the back there, just like that. Once you guys have that done, that's going to do it for layer 16. With that, let's go ahead and move on to layer 17. Alright guys, so we're actually on layer 18. My bad on that end part there of layer 17. But anyways, moving on to layer 18, what we want to do is we want to go to the top up here. On top of basically coming off at an angle from this row 3 here of polished andesite, we're going to place down a stone brick upside down stair like that on both sides. We then want to place down a row of 3 of stone brick half slabs. It's going to be open over this open space right here, this first space. So we're going to place down a row of 3 of the stone brick half slabs. We then want to place down a second row of 3 after them. We're going to place down a row of 3 of acacia wood planks, followed by a second row of 3. We then want to place down just 2 acacia wood planks on both sides, going back. We're then going to place down 1, 2, and 3 polished andesite blocks going back, a science thankwood block on both sides here, and on the sides of the science thankwood block, we're also going to place down a stone button as well. We then want to place down a row of 3 of polished andesite going back from the science thankwood block, followed by a science thankwood block on the other end of the row of 3 with again a stone button on it. On top of these polished andesite blocks, in the center one, we're going to place down a polished andesite block like this, followed by a stone brick stair on both ends of it like that. After you have that done, we're going to place down a stone full block on top of this polished andesite block, followed by 2 stone slab full blocks back and a stone button here on both sides of this first stone slab full block. Anyways, once you have that done, that's going to do it for layer 18. With that, let's go ahead and move on to layer 19. Alright guys, so going ahead and moving on to our next layer, we'll be going ahead and moving on to layer 19. For layer 19, we're going to go ahead and start off by taking our acacia wood slabs. We're going to place down a row of 3 across the top here, just like that. And again, this will be on this first kind of open space here after these 2 rows of 3 of acacia wood full plates. Then we don't want to go ahead and grab ourselves stone brick half slabs. We're going to place down a row of 3 after them of stone brick half slabs. We then want to place down a row of 3 of polished andesite, followed by a second row of 3. We then want to go to the sides here. We're going to place down 1 and 2, polished andesite blocks back. We then want to place down 1, 2, and 3, side and stink weight blocks back. Again, stone buttons here on the 2 sides like that, leaving the middle space open. And then go back here to the center. We're going to place down a polished andesite block in the center here, followed by a stone block, followed by 3 stone slab full blocks going back. And on this first stone slab full block, we're going to place down a stone button on both sides, just like that. Once you guys have that all done, that's going to do it for layer 19. And with that, we're going to move on to our last final layers here for the fuselage, which are basically going to be layers 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28, in which we're going to basically build up the top vertical stabilizer. With that, let's go ahead and move on to our last final layers. Alright guys, moving on to layers 20 through 28. These are going to be the last final layers of the fuselage. Once we get that finished, we're going to be going ahead and pretty much working on putting the engines on and also making the landed version and everything like that for it. So what we want to do to go ahead and pretty much get started with is we're going to go and basically work on layer 20. So we're going to go ahead and start off by placing down a polished andesite block on top of this, or sorry, a stone slab full block on the end here, followed by a second stone block or full block here with a stone button on both sides. We then want to place down a stone full block after it, followed by 1, 2, and 3 polished andesite blocks. We then want to place down a row of 3 of polished andesite across, followed by a second row of 3. We're then going to place down a row of 3 of stone brick half slabs, and then a second row of 3 of stone brick half slabs as well, all going toward the front. Going to continue to build this section up here. We're going to place down again 2 stone slabs going up like that. On the back here, stone buttons on the first, or basically the second slab, toward the front. We then want to place down a stone full block, followed by 1, 2, 3, and 4 polished andesite blocks and a stone brick slab here on both sides. After we have that done, we're going to go ahead and place down a stone slab full block coming on top of this one, and then we're going to go ahead and place down one that goes back like so. We're also going to place down a stone button on this stone slab full block on both sides, followed by a stone block after it like this going toward the front, and then we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, and 4 polished andesite blocks. After you have that finished, we're going to place down again a stone slab full block on top of this one, and also one on top of this block here. Stone buttons again on this first block here. We're then going to place down a stone full block after it, followed by 1, 2, and 3 polished andesite blocks back. Going ahead and continuing on, we're going to place down again another 2 stone slab full blocks going up, followed by a stone button on both sides. We then want to go ahead and place down a stone full block, followed by 2 polished andesite blocks going up. When we get to this section here, we are going to go ahead and place down a stone slab full block on top of this one right here, stone button on both sides. We're then going to place down a stone slab full block that goes back like that. We're going to place down a stone full block on that stone block, followed by 1 and 2 polished andesite blocks. Going ahead and building this up again, we're going to place down 2 stone slab full blocks on top of the previous ones, and then a stone button on both sides, a stone full block, followed by a polished andesite block. After that's done on top here, we're going to place down a row of 3 of polished andesite, and then grab our stone brick slabs. We're going to place down a stone brick slab on the center, followed by 1 and 2 back, just like that for the top there. Once you guys have that all done, that's going to do it for the YAGR-3B's fuselage. Pretty much what's left for us to do is to go through our different versions. So we have the in-flight version and also the landed version. We're going to first focus on the in-flight version just because it's a little bit easier to get done and out of the way. We're going to need to build the engines here, and of course, just like I did with the fuselage, I'm going to be building basically one engine on camera, and the other engine will be left for you guys to copy over, and then we'll transition and work on the landed version as well for the VTOL as well. So anyways, we still have a lot of work to do, but the main kind of portion of building the fuselage up is pretty much complete. So let's go ahead and now move on to putting our engines on and building our different configurations for it. Alright guys, so going ahead and moving on to building our in-flight version of the VTOL. Now, this basically pertains to us having the engines, the jet engines, basically facing upwards, vertically, instead of having them horizontally, as you can see with the landed version down below there. Now, to build these, they're relatively simple and really basic looking jet extensions, really. And we're going to go, of course, just do one of them, and then it's up to you to copy the other one to the other side since they're exactly the same. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, what we want to do for this engine here is we just want to go ahead and start off by going to this section here. So we have this section here, the little brace here, and I have a, model of the engine directly across here so I don't make any mistakes. So basically what we want to do is we want to go into this section here, the stairs and the slabs, polished andesite full block. We're going to place down a row of 5 here of science thinkley across. After we have that done, we're going to go and grab ourselves some cobblestone walls. We're going to place down 1 and 2 cobblestone walls going off this science thinkley row in both directions. After that is complete, we are then going to go and take our science thinkley, place down a row that goes all the way across the back here like that. We then want to have our science thinkley stick out 2 blocks past those cobblestone walls in both directions. Once we have that done, we're going to go and take stone buttons and run it alongside these science thinkley blocks. On the ends here of these science thinkley blocks as well, this long row here, we're going to place down a cobblestone wall on both sides. After we have that complete, we're going to go and go down a layer here. We're going to place down a polished andesite block under these 2 cobblestone walls and a row of polished andesite that goes all the way across like so. After we have that done, we're going to go and place down a row of 5 here of polished andesite under that row of 5 of science thinkley, followed by again 2 cobblestone walls on both sides. Going ahead and continuing down again, we're going to place down another row of polished andesite that's going to go all the way across the bottom side here, just like that. We then want to go ahead and build off of this. We're going to place down a cobblestone wall like this on the sides here. We're going to grab ourselves a nether brick stair, place down a nether brick stair like so, followed by a second nether brick stair. We then want to place down a science thinkley block with the stone button coming off of it, followed by a polished andesite block. We're then going to just copy this same design over to this side. So a science thinkley block, stone button, and then we're going to go and just place down a row of 2 nether brick stairs and a cobblestone wall. Once that is complete, we're going to go down another layer. We're going to go ahead and place down a row of 3 here, or just a row of polished andesite all the way across again. Very simple, like that. We then want to go ahead and grab ourselves our cobblestone walls. Again, we're going to place down a cobblestone wall right here coming down from this one. We're going to place down 1 and 2 nether brick stairs across. We then want to place down a total of 1, 2, and 3 upside down stone brick stairs, followed by 2 nether brick stairs like this, and then a cobblestone wall like so. Going down to our next row, we're going to take science thinkley blocks. We're going to place down a row of science thinkley that's going to go ahead and go all the way across like that. We then want to place down a row of 5 of science thinkley blocks going down from the center here, followed by stone buttons on all 5 of those science thinkley blocks. On either side of this row of 5 here, we're going to place down 2 cobblestone walls like that on both sides going down. We then want to take our stone buttons and place down a row of 3 of stone buttons going out to the sides like that. And we also want to place down a stone button on the ends here of this row of science thinkley. Going ahead and continuing down, we're going to place down another cobblestone wall. Going down like this, we're then going to place down 2 nether brick stairs like this, followed by 1, 2, and 3 polished andesite blocks. We then want to place down 1 and 2 nether brick stairs like this, and again a cobblestone wall. And directly behind these blocks, we're just going to go again place down a row of polished andesite that's going to go all the way along the bottom here of this that row of science thinkley. Continuing on, we're going to place down a row of 5 of polished andesite in the middle here, followed by a cobblestone wall on both ends of it. Again, behind this row, we're going to go and take our polished andesite and place down a row that goes all the way across and below that previous row of polished andesite. We're going to go and basically repeat the same thing again. So cobblestone wall down on both sides, another row of 5 of polished andesite like that, and then again a huge row of polished andesite all the way along the back here, or the bottom here, just like that. Going ahead and going down to our next row, we're going to go and take our science thinkley. We're going to place down a row of science thinkley that's going to go all the way across, or which should have, but for some reason didn't get transferred over. So a row of science thinkley all the way across. We're then going to place down a row of 5 of science thinkley coming off of it in the middle, and stone buttons on all the sides here of these science thinkley blocks, and also on the ends here of the row on either side. Going ahead and moving on to our next row here, we're going to need some red wool. We're going to place down a row of red wool that's going to go all the way across the bottom here like this. Coming off this science thinkley blocks, we're going to place down a polished andesite block in the middle, followed by 2 stone slabs on both sides of the polished andesite block. So 2 stone slab full blocks like that going down. We then want to go ahead and we're going to need to grab ourselves a brick slab. We're going to place down a brick slab here on both sides. Then we're going to take our red wool again, place down a row that's going to go all the way across, just like this, like so on the bottom there. And then we want to go ahead and again place down a polished andesite block in the middle here, followed by 1 and 2, 1 and 2 stone slab full blocks going down like that. Once we get down to this section here, we want to go ahead and take our brick slabs. We're going to place down 1 and 2 like this, and same thing over here, 1 and 2. We then want to go ahead and grab ourselves a black wool. We're going to place down a row of 5 here, black wool in between. And then we actually want to go and just double check here. It's actually a little bit different. We're actually going to place down a black wool block here on both sides here. Polished andesite block next to those black wool blocks, and then another brick slab in between them, which we'll need to probably go into our inventory and grab another brick slab right there and put it in the middle. Then on the outsides here, on the bottom of this row here, we're going to place down some black wool like that going down. Going ahead and continuing down, we're going to place down a black wool block here on both sides like this. We then want to grab ourselves another brick stair. We're going to place down another brick upside down stair on the bottom of this black wool block here on either side of this row 5. And then in between these stairs, we're going to place down a row 3 of black wool like that. Once you have that all finished, that's going to pretty much do it for the bottom part of the engine. Let's go ahead and work on the top part going up. Now, one thing also with this engine is whatever you see we're doing on this one side of the engine, you can flip it over to the other side and it's completely symmetrical. So, for example, if we look at this engine here, you can see all the details on this side and all the details on this side. It's exactly the same. It transfers over perfectly. So, pretty much you're going to want to just copy it over and stuff. I don't know if I will. This tutorial is already long enough, so I don't know if I'll copy the other side over just to save some time. But it's the same kind of design. Anyways, going ahead and building up this section here, we're going to go ahead and take our polished andesite. We're going to place down a row all the way across on top of these cyan stankway blocks. We then want to place down a cobblestone wall on both ends, like so. We're also going to place down a row of 5 of polished andesite on top of that row of 5 of cyan stained clay, followed by 2 cobblestone walls on both sides. We want to go ahead and repeat this layer 3 more times. So we're just going to go ahead and basically, or 2 more times actually. We're going to go ahead and just build this up 2 more times here. Like this, and our polished andesite up as well, like that, and again our cobblestone walls up like this, like so. So you can see you have your cyan stained clay row across here, and then you can see you have 3 rows of the polished andesite going all the way across. Once we get to this point here, we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves cyan stained clay. Kind of, it's going to be a bit of a repeating pattern here. We're going to place down a row of cyan stained clay all the way across, like so, and a row of 5 that comes off of it on top of that polished andesite. We're going to go ahead and place down a cobblestone wall on both ends, and also take our stone buttons and place it down on these cyan stained clay blocks as well. And these 2 cobblestone walls right here, again, continuing to flow up like so. After this, we're going to go ahead and go up 3 times for our polished andesite. So just like this, three times going up. Like that, we're going to have another one of these kind of 3 gaps here of polished andesite. And this is just going to go all the way up here. Same thing right here. Just building it all up. And then we're going to go and take our cobblestone walls on the ends here. We're going to build up our cobblestone walls. Also, these 2 cobblestone walls right here. Next to that row of 5 of polished andesite in the middle. And just like that. Then we're going to go and do the same thing for our cyan stained clay again. So we're going to go and make another row here. Goes all the way across the top here. And a row of 5 like that. We then want to go and again place down our cobblestone walls on the previous ones like that going up, and also on both sides there like that. We're also going to take stone buttons, and we're going to place down stone buttons like that on those cyan stained clay blocks. With that finished, we're going to go and go to our next row here. We're going to place down a row of polished andesite across, and this is going to be kind of the same thing again, and there kind of gap of 3, or you know, what we kind of had earlier. Except the only difference this time is that we're not going to put cobblestone walls on the outsides. We're just going to put the ones on the insides here like we've been doing. So let's go ahead and build this up 2 more times. Take this all the way across and fill in those spaces there. And again, our 3rd time going up. Fill those spaces in, cobblestone walls, cobblestone walls. With that complete, we're going to go and continue on. We're going to take cyan stained clay. We're going to go and place down a row all the way across like so. We then want to go ahead and place down a row of 3 of cyan stained clay in the center here, stone buttons on both of them. We then want to take our nether brick stairs. We're going to go ahead and place down a row of 2 nether brick upside down stairs, same thing over here, followed by a cobblestone wall on both sides. After that's done, we're going to place down 1 and 2 stone buttons, and then a stone button on the end here, same thing over here, just like that. Going ahead and continuing up, we're going to place down a row of polished andesite again, all the way across on top of that cyan stained clay blocks. For the inside here, we're going to go ahead and place down again upside down nether brick stairs on top of the upside down nether brick stairs, followed by a row of 3 of stone brick stairs in the middle, and again a cobblestone wall on both ends. Going ahead and building up again, we want to go ahead and place down another row of polished andesite all the way across. We're then going to place down a black wool block here in the center, followed by a cyan stankway block on both sides, stone buns on those cyan stankway blocks. We also want to place down a polished andesite block next to cyan stankway blocks on both sides. We're then going to place down 2 cobblestone walls coming off that polished andesite block to either side. Going ahead and continuing on, we're going to place down a row of black wool all the way across the top of this polished andesite row like that. We then want to go ahead and grab ourselves a polished andesite block, place it down the black wool block there in the center. We're going to place down 2 nether brick stairs, upside down and going off in both directions, followed by a cobblestone wall on both sides like that. Going ahead and continuing up, we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves a nether brick half slab. We're going to place down a nether brick half slab on an indent, one from the side there on both sides. Again, a row of black wool across in between those half slabs. When we go up to this section here, we're going to place down a black wool block here on top of that polished andesite block, followed by a polished andesite block on either side of the black wool block, and then a cobblestone wall like that. Going ahead and continuing on, we're going to place down a row of, I believe this is a row of 7 here of black wool across like that. So you can kind of see we have a bit of a look that looks just like that. We then want to go ahead and build up this section here. So this could be a polished andesite block here on top of the polished andesite blocks on both sides, stone buns on those 2 polished andesite blocks, and then again cobblestone walls on either side, and then a cobblestone wall in the middle. Going ahead and continuing on, we're going to place down a row of 5 here of black wool in the center like that. We're going to go ahead and place down a black wool block on top of those 2 polished andesite blocks, and then a cobblestone wall there in the center. Continuing on, we're going to go ahead and place down a row of 3 here of a row of 5 again of black wool like this going across. We're then going to go ahead and place down a nether brick stair, which is going to be on both those black wool blocks just like that. We also want to place down a black wool block right there in between those nether brick stairs like so. Continuing on, we're going to place down another row of 3 of black wool going up. We're going to place down a black wool block there on that, a nether brick stair in the middle there, followed by a cobblestone wall on both sides. We're going to go ahead and continue on by just placing down a row of 3 of black wool going up, a second row of 3 after that, and then we're just going to place down a black wool block in the center here, followed by a cobblestone wall on both sides. And once you have that done, that's going to pretty much be the design for the engine. All we need to do is take this side right here and flip it over to the air side. So I'm going to do that real quick, and I'll show you guys the final result. Alright guys, so we have our other side copied over. As you can see, it's pretty much an exact replica of this side over here. The only real difference here is we do not have a connector point on this side. So we can just go ahead and go to this row right here and just place down a row of 5 of stone buttons at this layer right here of cyan stankway where this usually connects up to. As you can see, it's pretty simple. It's just copying the same design we have on this side over to the air side. So it's nothing too complicated for the engine there. And then once you have that design for the engine complete, you're just going to copy that engine over to this side over here, and you'll have your in-flight version completely done and finished. And that'll pretty much do it for the in-flight version. All you gotta do is, again, copy that engine over to the air side, and you're pretty much good to go. If you are interested in building the landed version, we're going to go ahead and now move on how to do the landed version. Or if you're just interested on how to have the wings facing in a horizontal position, you can also learn how to build that in our next section of the tutorial. Anyways, that's it for the in-flight version. Let's go ahead and move on to our landed version. Alright guys, so going ahead and moving on to making the landed version for this. This is going to consist of 2 parts. We have obviously the part of putting the engines in the horizontal place, and we also have the landing gear that we have to put on. Both are major components of making this thing actually look like it's landed. However, you could have the VTOL engines if you really wanted to in the in-flight version as well. It doesn't really matter too much, but definitely if you have this thing landed, you will need to put the horizontal engines in because they will basically go into the ground if you do not. So let's go ahead and get started with putting the engines on first. I think that'll be the first kind of major thing we should get out of the way before we go ahead and focus on putting all these, the wheels and all of that fun stuff on. So let's go ahead and get started. Now we have the same kind of joint here. You can see I have the exact same, fuselage that we had built previously. And it's the exact same thing. So we're just going to go and basically build off of this and put our kind of wing things on, whatever you really want to call them, honestly. So what we want to do for this is we're going to go ahead and start off by taking our polished andesite. We're going to place down a row of 5 here next to these stone brick stairs, all that kind of stuff. And we also just want to place down a second row of 5 directly behind it, just kind of filling it in. Once we have that done, we're going to go ahead and place down a stone brick upside down stair like this for this row. We then want to go ahead and place down a polished andesite block behind that stair. We're then going to place down a row of 2 here of cyan stained clay with a stone button on the side there. We then want to place down 2 polished andesite blocks, followed by an air 2, and then an air 2 like that. We're then going to place down a row of 2 of cyan stained clay with a stone button like that. After that's done, we're going to place down 2 rows of 2 here of cyan stained clay, or of polished andesite block, my bad. And then we're going to place down a cobblestone wall from off the center one right here, followed by a black wool block. Or my bad, we're at that point, my bad. We're gonna place down that cobblestone wall there, followed by a black wool block on this side of it. Once you have that done, we're gonna build the engine off toward the front now. So that was toward the back. We're gonna be moving it toward the front now. We're gonna place down an air row 2 of polished andesite, a row 2 here of cyan stained clay with a stone button on the side here. We're going to place down basically 3 rows of 2 here of polished andesite, a row of 2 of cyan stained clay with a stone button on it. We then want to place down 3 rows of 2 here of polished andesite. We're going to place down a row of 2 of cyan stained clay with a stone button on the end like that. After we have that done, we're going to place down a cobblestone wall coming off this cyan stained clay block with a polished andesite block right behind it. Then we want to go ahead and place down a row of 2 of black wool, a row of 2 of polished andesite. We then want to place down another row of 2 of black wool. We're then going to place down 2 cobblestone walls coming off this black wool block right here, followed by 1 and 2 black wool blocks directly behind it. We then want to place down a total of what is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 black wool blocks coming off this one right here. So we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 black wool blocks coming off that one right there. So even pretty much a row of, I believe this is a row of 8 here of black wool coming off the polished andesite block. And that's going to do it for this first row right here. We're going to go and work on building this down, and then we'll, obviously expand upon it and continue on really. So we're going to go and build it down and then up. So for this on the back here, we're going to go and place down a polished andesite block underneath this cobblestone wall, followed by a black wool block down from this. We actually want to go ahead and fix this previous layer. This black wool block is actually supposed to go out 1 more, and same thing with this one. We're just going to extend them by 1. We then want to place down 2 polished andesite blocks on the inside, or on kind of like the outside here, followed by 2 stone slabs. We're then going to place down a row of 2 here of cyan stained clay, again a stone button here. We then want to place down a row of 2 here of polished andesite. We're going to place down a second row of 2 of polished andesite. We then want to place down a polished andesite block on the back here, followed by a upside or just a regular narrow brick stair like that. We then want to place down a row of 2 of cyan stained clay with a stone button. We're then going to place down a narrow 2 polished andesite blocks back here like this, and 2 narrow brick stairs out here on the outside. We're then going to place down a row of 2 of polished andesite, followed by a row of 2 of cyan stained clay blocks. And we can't put down a stone button because we obviously have this slab in the way. So continuing on, we then want to place down three rows of 2 here of polished andesite. We're going to place down a row of 2 of cyan stained clay, a row of 2 here of polished andesite, second row, and a third row after that. A row of 2 here of cyan stained clay, followed by a row of 2 here of polished andesite, a second row, and also a third row. We then want to place down a row of cyan stained clay across like this, stone button. We're then going to go and place down a cyan stained clay block on the inside there, followed by a cobblestone wall. We then want to go ahead and again place down 2 cyan stained clay blocks with a stone button on the ends. We're going to place down a polished andesite block on the inside there, followed by another brick upside down stair. We then want to place down 2 rows of 2 here of polished andesite. We're then going to place down a row of 2 here of black wool, like that. We then want to place down a black wool block, followed by another brick stair like this. We then want to place down another black wool block with this time another brick half slab, or this is actually be an upside down dark or narrow brick stair and a narrow brick top slab after like so. We're then going to place down a black wool block off this one right here, and then 1 and 2 nether brick top slabs going toward the front there. And you can see we're starting to get this built up a little bit. We're going to drop down to our next layer down here. So we're going to go and basically again place down a row of 2 of black wool this time it's actually going to be a black wool, basically a row 2 on the black wool right here. We're going to place down a nether brick upside down stair like this, come out the black wool block, and then one black wool block right here on the back. With that finished, we want to go ahead and place down a polished andesite, 2 polished andesite blocks like this, and we're going to place down stone slab blocks coming off of them. We're then going to place down again a row 2 of cyan stained clay, stone button, a row 2 of polished andesite, followed by a second row after that. We're going to place down a polished andesite block back here, followed by another brick stair coming off of it. Another row 2 of cyan stained clay with a stone button. This thing for this row right here, 2 polished andesite blocks, 2 nether brick stairs like this coming off of them. We then want to go ahead and place down a row 2 of polished andesite, followed by a row 2 of cyan stained clay with a stone button on the inside there. We then want to place down a row 3 here, or sorry, 2 rows of 3 here of, or actually 3 rows of 2 here of polished andesite, followed by a row 2 of cyan stained clay, again a stone button like that. We then want to go ahead and place down 3 rows of 2 again of polished andesite, followed by a row 2 of cyan stained clay. Another 3 rows of 2 of polished andesite, and this time we are actually going to place down 2 nether brick stairs like this with polished andesite blocks directly behind them. We then want to go ahead and place down a row 2 here of polished andesite. After that, we're going to go ahead and place down a polished andesite block, or I believe this is actually going to be a black wool block, like this, followed by a nether brick upside down stair underneath that, or coming off this black wool block. We're then going to place down 1 and 2 black wool blocks, followed by 1 and 2 cobblestone walls. We then want to place down just 1 and 2 more black wool blocks like that going toward the front. After that's finished, we're going to go and continue on. So we're going to drop down from these 2 black wool blocks that are connected to these cobblestone walls. We're going to place down 2 black wool blocks. We then want to go and actually want to go and place down a third one, and coming off that third one, we're going to place down a cobblestone wall. We're then going to place down a polished andesite block, followed by a cobblestone wall. We then want to place down 2 polished andesite blocks, followed by 2 nether brick upside down stairs. We're then going to place down a long row of polished andesite here, so we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, or actually my bad, 19 polished andesite blocks back, and we're going to end right here. We're going to place down a cyan stained clay block, and then after that cyan stained clay block, we're going to go and grab ourselves some red wool. We're going to place down 1, 2, and 3 red wool blocks back. But alongside a lot of this, we're going to go and take cobblestone walls and put these into place. So starting from here, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 cobblestone walls going back. Now, when we get to this whole section right in here, we actually need to actually shift these the section here down, but we'll get that. We'll go and fix that real quick. So a little bit of a mistake here. We actually want to place down a row 2 and nether brick right here, and we're actually going to go and take this row right here, and we're actually going to break this. We're going to place down a polished andesite block here and a stone brick upside down stair there. So a very minor fix, nothing too major. And actually this right here, this polished andesite block is actually a cyan stained clay block with a stone button on it. So minor fix there. And then right here in this section, again another minor fix. We're going to take this nether brick stair out, put a polished andesite block, and then a nether brick stair after it, going down like that. In between these nether brick stairs, a polished andesite block, followed by 1 and 2 after it, going toward the rear. After that's done, we're going to go and continue on. We're going to place down a row 2 here of red wool, leaving an indent on the end here, followed by a cyan stained clay block with a stone button on it. We then want to place down a row of polished andesite that's going to run its way up to the front here, so it's going to be a pretty long row, going pretty much nearly all the way to the front here. It's going to go all the way up here, and it's going to stop right here at this polished andesite block like that. We then want to go ahead and take our black wool. We're going to place down 1 and 2 black wool blocks, just like that. And with that all finished, we're going to take our polished andesite. We're going to start at this polished andesite, or cobblestone walls. We're going to start at this polished andesite block. We're just going to take cobblestone walls and pretty much run this all the way down along the side here, like this, all the way to this nether brick stair right here. Going ahead and continue to go down, we're going to place down another 2 red stained clay blocks right here, followed by another cyan stained clay block with a stone button on it. Also, stone button on that one if you haven't already. We then want to place down 1, 2, and 3. And actually, yeah, we're going to place down a total of 3 here of polished andesite. We then want to place down a science tankway block with a stone button coming off of it. We're going to place down 1, 2, and 3 polished andesite blocks, science tankway block, stone button. We're going to place down another 3 polished andesite blocks, science tankway block, stone button, another 3 polished andesite blocks, and another science tankway stone button, or with a stone button on it. 3 polished andesite blocks, again, a science tankway block with a stone button on it, and again 2 polished andesite blocks. After that, we're going to go ahead and place down a black wool block, like so, followed by another brick upside down stair coming off of it. Going down again, we're going to place down another black wool block coming down from this one right here. We're going to place down 2 polished andesite blocks, another science tankway block with a stone button on it like that. We're then going to place down 1, 2, and 3 polished andesite blocks, science tankway block, stone button, 1, 2, and 3 polished andesite, science tankway, stone button, 1, 2, and 3 polished andesite, science tankway, stone button, 1, 2, and 3 polished andesite, science tankway, and the stone button. Again, 1, 2, and 3 polished andesite going back like so, and then again science tankway block, stone button on the side there. After that's done, over here we're also going to place down a red wool block and then place down one more that goes down. For this right here, we're going to place down 1, 2, or science tankway block. After that, red wool block, stone button on it, polished andesite block, 1, 2, 3. Another science tankway block, stone button on the bottom and also the side here, and also bottom on top, this science tankway block. We're then going to place down 1, 2, and 3 polished andesite going toward the front, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 stone brick top slabs to go toward the front. Once you have that done, that's basically this half of the engine. The next thing that you guys can pretty much do is copy what we did on the engine. So this is the very center line of the engine, as you can see right here. Basically copy everything on this side over to the other side. I'm going to go and do that real quick, and I'll show you guys the final result. Alright guys, so now you can see that we have our engine complete here on both sides, just like that. Pretty simple, pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. Now at this point right here, we can take this engine and just copy this whole section here. So we have our middle line, which is right here. As you can see, it comes to this point. This whole line right here is our middle line. We can copy basically everything that's below. Let's go and use a more, standout color. We can copy everything that's below this line right here up above here. So it's going to be just copying this whole section right above this. Again, I'm going to go and do that real quick, and I'll show you guys again the final result. And by just simply mirroring what we did on this whole inside section here, up on top of here, we have our engine basically complete. As you can see, it looks something just like this. And to kind of give you guys a good look at the side here, just in case you're a little confused, here's a good look at the side, what it looks like, and you can go ahead and just copy it. But as I mentioned, it's pretty much the exact same down here as it is up there. The reason why I kind of mirrored this over real quick and stuff like that is because obviously it's taking a long time to build these engines. These engines are pretty much almost a build in themselves, and this tutorial is already dragging out really long, so I wanted to go ahead and make it kind of faster and easier for me, and so I don't kill my computer trying to render this. So that's the engines. It's just going to require a little bit of thinking to mirror it around and stuff like that. But basically this whole section right here, this fourth section, just go ahead and flip this over to this side right here. We have our center line right here. And then we have the center line that was also built in the first 2 layers right here. We're going to take basically everything that's below this center line across here, and we're going to flip it over up onto the top side. So it's pretty simple. The only part that's kind of different here is that we have this stone brick stair and this kind of row 3 of stone brick stairs here. This stair is going to remain upside down in the same direction like that. We're not going to do anything like this or anything. Just go ahead and do that for that section there. Other than that, you guys are pretty much done with the engine. Now you just got to take that engine, copy it over to the other side, and once you guys do, you'll be good to go ahead and move on to the landing gear. Alright guys, so going ahead and moving on to putting the landing gear on. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, it's very important that you build to a certain height off the ground. This part right here is where it's going to really start to come into play. From our lowest point of the vehicle, which is layer 1, we need to make sure that this is 3.5 blocks off the ground. If it is 1 above, 1 below, your whole build is pretty much off, and it won't be able to sit on the ground evenly unless you were to extend the landing gear or retract them a little bit somehow. But if you were to build it exactly how I do, it will not fit. You need to make sure it's exactly 3.5 blocks off the ground. I mentioned that at the beginning of the video. Now, we're going to be building the left side landing gear. I may have to take a few looks. I do have a reference picture I'll be looking at, but I may need to take a few looks here at this original design to make sure that I build it pretty much completely right. So bear with me as I, build these wheels and stuff like that. There's a little bit of a funky design for the landing gear, that's for sure. Now, I will be doing the left side of the build, and you'll be able to just copy over the right side. It's exactly the same, and I'll also show you guys how to build the back wheel, which is a very simple design. Anyways, to get started, we will need to break some blocks here. So we're going to need to go ahead and go to our nether brick slabs, or this whole section right here where the landing gear would theoretically be housed. Now, we're going to need to break a pretty good section of blocks out right here. We're going to need to break out a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 blocks out. So we go to our nether brick here. We want to go and break out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 nether brick kind of like half slabs and top slab section out, just like this, so you have this huge kind of like dugout section. Once we have that done, we're going to need to go ahead and replace some of our blocks. So we have these stairs right here. We're going to flip these to upside down stairs. We're also going to place down a polished andesite block right after this one, so we have our nether brick upside down stair, polished andesite block. We then want to place down a total of 2 nether brick upside down stairs. So right here, after the black wall, we're going to break that. We have our 2 nether brick upside down stairs. We're going to place down a polished andesite block, followed by our two more nether brick upside down stairs to close this out. On top of the nether brick upside down stairs and the polished andesite blocks, we're also going to place down black wool just to keep it a little bit cleaner on the top here. With that complete, go ahead and continue on. We're going to go ahead and place down a cobblestone wall coming off of both these polished andesite blocks. For the front wheel up here, we're going to go ahead and place down 1 and 2 polished andesite blocks going down like that. Or actually, my bad, 1 polished andesite block followed by an upside down stair directly behind it. After we have that done, we're going to go ahead and place down a stone brick stair like this on the back of this upside down stair. We're then going to place down another stair on the back of this stair. On the bottom of this stair here, we're going to place down another upside down stair followed by a polished andesite block like that after it. We then want to go ahead and place down a total of 1 and 2 cobblestone walls going back, which is then going to be followed by a polished andesite block, followed by 1, 2 cobblestone walls back, and again another polished andesite block. From this polished andesite block, I'm going to take a look over here. Very simply, we're going to go ahead and place down a cobblestone wall on top of this one right here. And then we want to go ahead and place down a stone brick top slab on the bottom of this stair right here. We're also going to place down a top slab kind of going back here, like that at an angle from this cobblestone wall, and a stone brick stair going up like so for this kind of like piece right here. And you can see it looks something like just like that, and you can see we have our kind of our axles and the line here for the landing gear. To go ahead and basically put the wheels on, very simply, we're going to place down a polished andesite block, come off this one right here, and also this one. We want to go ahead and then wrap black wool around the polished andesite block, and then in between the spaces of the black wool here, we're just going to go ahead and place down a nether brick stair all the way around. We also want to just go ahead and place down stone buttons on the wheel like that, just to make it look a little bit nicer. And then this section here, same thing here, just black wool blocks all the way around, and some nether brick upside down stairs, and again stone buttons like that to go ahead and make those wheels. We also want to go ahead and go on the top here, and just to kind of show this panel kind of opened up, over this space right here, we're going to go ahead and place down a row of nether brick half slabs on top going across, just like that. Once you guys have that done, it's going to basically do it for the landing gear piece here in the front, and you'll take that design and just flip it over to the other side. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to putting the rear wheel on, which is a little bit easier. Alright guys, so moving on to the rear landing wheel. It's a relatively simple design, and it should be relatively pretty simple to put on. So this, we're not going to be really breaking much. We're just going to change out a few blocks here. So we're going to take this row 3 here of polished andesite. We're going to switch that to cyan stained clay. This row 3 of polished andesite, we're also going to switch to cyan stained clay. And this row of 3 of stone brick half slabs, we're also going to switch to cyan stained clay. Now, one thing with this landing gear wheel on the back, it may not be entirely accurate. There is very little reference pictures in terms of this wheel and how it kind of positioned itself back here. So I basically built what I was able to, and this was the best I was was really able to come up with the limited resources for this angle. Anyways, we're going to start off by placing down a polished andesite block in this gap right here, followed by a cobblestone wall after it. We're then going to place down a stone brick half slab down from this polished andesite block, followed by a polished andesite block down from this cobblestone wall. We then want to place down a stone half slab coming off this polished andesite block, followed by a polished andesite block underneath that stone half slab. We then want to place down a stone top slab coming off this polished andesite block, and then going ahead and going down, I'm just going to go and take a quick look here. We're going to place down a polished andesite block here, going down pretty much diagonal from this polished andesite block right here. And on either side of this polished andesite block, we're going to place down a cobblestone wall. With that complete, we then want to go ahead and place down a stone slab coming off that stone top slab there. We're also going to place down a stone brick stair here on the bottom like that. We then want to place down a second stone brick stair coming off the front of that one. On the bottom of this polished andesite block, we're going to place down a stone slab. We're then going to place down a polished andesite block with a cobblestone wall on both sides like that. On the bottom of this stair, we're going to place down a cobblestone wall like so. We then want to place down a stone top slab on the bottom of this polished andesite block. Just taking a look real quick over here to this side. We just want to then place down a polished andesite block coming off this stone top slab, and then another polished andesite block coming down at an angle like that. With that done, we're going to place down a polished andesite block on either side of this one right here. We're then going to go ahead and take our black wool blocks, basically wrap it around the polished andesite block like this. They kind of create like a cross there. We're going to need to go into our inventory, grab ourselves some nether brick stairs. We're going to place down nether brick stairs in the corners, basically in between these wool blocks, all the way around. Same thing on the back here, just like this. And then to finish this all off, we're going to go and take our stone buttons and place down our stone buttons 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way around, and just like that for the back wheels. Once you guys have that all complete, that is going to pretty much do it for the Neon Genesis basically YAGR-3B attack VTOL. Overall, a really interesting build, that's for sure. Very tricky, very long, but it's definitely a really cool build in the end once you're able to get it all finished and everything like that. And of course, with this landing gear, just a quick reminder, we're going to copy that same design over to the other side, and you'll have this thing landed. Overall, hope you guys do enjoy the build. I hope that it is close as possible really to accuracy. Unfortunately, there isn't really much terms in scaling or any dimensions anywhere out there for it, so it's kind of hit or miss to kind of guess. Build what you see and hopefully it works out. But anyways, hope you guys really did enjoy this build. If you guys do end up using this design, I do ask that you guys give me proper credit for it. This being thing from the side of the build, link to my channel or this video. If this does appear on any social media sites, just be sure to give proper credit for the build. That's all I ask for doing these tutorials. It helps my channel grow and it continues to keep me inspired to keep on posting these videos. In addition, I also want to go and give a special thanks to Dio the Troublesome Truck for requesting this and his donation on Patreon. Really do appreciate it, Dio. And other than that, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Garrett 2x4, and I'll see you guys next time.